Good morning, good evening, and good afternoon. Welcome to Conscious Radio Network. Today, our special guest, Nancy Robbins, psychic medium, energy worker, author, and artist. And she is the owner-creator of Elements Design Collection. Today she is joining us to show us some of these card decks. They're oracles, correct?
They're all oracle cards, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Oracle card decks, and she's got quite a few, a lot. So, and they are very unique. So, this is something that is I am very interested in learning more about it. And today we're going to talk to her, and she'll explain how she created them, and what it's all about. So, Nancy, welcome to the show.
Hi, everyone.
Welcome back into the studio.
Yes, hey. Brand new studio.
And it's a better studio, too.
It is. I like it. It's very nice.
So, the work you've been doing this for quite some time. I've noticed that all of these card decks you've created yourself. All the artwork.
Yes.
Is all hand drawn. It's all and very specific. And how you got these. If you can explain to the guests how you first started working with these card decks.
Okay. I work a lot with a lot of higher dimensional guides, a lot of ascended masters, and the archangels and star beings and such. And so we work together as a collaborative team. So basically all of these decks were by request and in collaboration with the guides. So the very first one that I made is on chakras, and it's the Chakra Meditation card deck, which covers the physical chakras, but all of the spiritual chakras and the newly transforming chakras. So I ended up making about 80 different cards.
Wow.
And then my guides picked the ones they wanted. And they picked 54, and I thought, well, that's a strange number. And then I realized later that most card decks are 54 cards in a card deck. And I'm like, oh, okay. Because this was the first one that I had done. So basically for all my card decks, I did all the artwork, I did all of the channeling of the information, and then I had it published and printed myself. So I did it really the hard way, soup to nuts.
Wow.
So this card deck.
This is the first one.
This is the first one. Chakra Meditation card deck.
Meditation card deck.
What's nice about this deck is that you learn about all the different chakras, especially the spiritual chakras, which are not very often covered. And you learn about all the issues that they govern and where you need to balance energetically. So it's super great for that. All of my card decks have a lot of card spreads in them, so it makes it very easy to give yourself a reading. And that's part of the beauty of it, so that you build your own intuitive psychic skills.
Yeah.
They're different than tarot decks. These are more of an oracle deck. A tarot deck is the 78 card with the cards having the archetypal signature
Swords,
to them.
cups, stars.
Right, pentacles,
Yep.
So these are more of an oracle deck, but they're really, I find the messages that I get from all of these decks are pretty smack on.
Yeah.
It kind of gives you like, okay, that was clear, thank you. And the other thing that I like about card decks in general is the visual image on the card always sticks with me. So the message that I get from the cards retains longer with me. And whenever I want to, like, oh yeah, I remember that image, that helps me remember the message.
Yeah, that's the thing too. I mean, it's very important to bring in imagery, color imagery. We are visual beings.
Yeah.
We covet first what we see.
Right.
And that's how when I went through electrical, school, engineering and stuff like that, I couldn't do math I still can't do math very well. When it came to trigonometry, really? I'm like, I don't know trig. I did after I started realizing, okay, I'm a visual person. So I took colors and associated specific colors to certain aspects of an electrical equation.
Yeah.
Like voltage was one color, amperage was another color, resistance was another color.
Mm-hmm.
And by remembering it, it helped me subliminally kind of learn it.
Right.
And by using artwork, you know, something will impress onto somebody or a particular person to when they're using these card decks.
Yes.
And they'll start remembering it and bring back good memory. And this is and that's what's really cool is the books.
Mm-hmm.
That the card decks come with a book.
Yes, yes.
I mean, a lot of card decks out there, I mean, they come with a little tiny pocket book that's usually in the box and stuff like that. But these card decks actually come with a pretty good sized book.
So, and what this particular book on the chakras also includes is it's talking about your whole energy system and how, you know, what's incorporated into that. So it helps you understand your whole chakra alignment. And the alignment is what's key right now, because we need to have all of our chakras aligned and energized so that we can take in all the high frequency energy that's coming in on the planet. So in order to move through the process of ascension, we need to have our chakras up to snuff.
Yeah.
So that we can take in the higher frequencies and the higher energies, and it just opens up our world even more. As we move into the higher frequencies,
helping raise our vibration as the vibration around us is also elevating. So
exactly.
Yeah.
And the best way to help the planet too, and fellow human beings.
Lord knows we need that now.
Gosh, yeah, absolutely. So this was my first one, and so the card and deck come in an organza bag, so you have something to keep the whole kit in. So that was my first one, and then after that, a group of Pleadians that I work with asked me to channel Pleadian healing symbols. And that was a unique challenge for me.
Yeah.
I had to try to visualize a blank white board, and I'm like, okay, take a colored marker and draw the symbol. So I try to visualize what the symbol looks like and try to get that accurate. And then I'm like, all right, now what does this mean? You know. So my Pleadian symbol cards, here's a few that I have in here, were very unusual. And looking at them all, here's a few of them. This is actually a Pleadian portal card. They're all different types of symbols that are used in general by their culture in their civilization. And they say that the symbols work directly with our subconscious.
Yeah.
And basically what I've felt the whole deck did is it changed our perspective so that we understood more of our divine selves, and also opened our eyes and awareness to a greater perspective and raised our consciousness. Basically, that's what I feel that this deck does. Now, originally, I printed the deck and I put the message of the symbol on the back of the card. And then I sold out of all of those. And then I waited because I was so busy doing other decks, I hadn't reprinted it. And then when I first came out with a deck, people were like, what's a Pleadian? And then during this past year, people were saying, I feel like Pleadians are getting in touch with me. How do I connect with them?
Hopefully a lot of people that are watching the show and the subscribers know what a Pleadian is.
Yes.
If you don't know what a Pleadian is...
Star beings from the constellation, the Pleiades. And so I asked them to help me write a book so that I'd have more booklet information. So I asked them what they felt was important for us to understand now at this time, and to help clarify what their mission is on the planet. This is 5 of like a dozen Pleiadians that I work with that were responsible for helping me put this book together. And I also asked them to write visualizations to help us connect with them and what they felt was important for us to understand. Yeah. So that is in the book. booklet as well as card spreads once again, and more information on each card.
I see.
So it's really interesting. Pleiadians basically are concerned with the energetics of the planet. So they work a great deal, to my surprise, with elementals and also with the crystalline grid of the earth. And so they would like to work with us to help us with the shift, because they've gone through the shift previously in their lifetime, and they would like to help us work with the energy of the planet. So connecting in with nature, connecting in with the crystalline grid is paramount right now to helping us. And also...
through my research too, the Pleadians have been assisting mankind for a very long time.
Yes.
Very long time, and especially now is very important, because they're trying to elevate our vibration and trying to help us become part of the galactic community, so to speak. So
they originally lived on the planet Earth, and then they moved from Earth to the Pleiades to live. So they're like fellow Earth cousins of ours.
Yeah.
And they were also very involved during the time of Atlantis.
Oh yeah.
There was a
right.
Syrian, Pleadian, Arcturian alliance during the time of Atlantis that was involved with working with the crystals and the crystal temples, and they helped move them just before the fall of Atlantis and helped set up a reactivation system so that they all reactivated over the past 12 years or so.
Oh, wow.
And now that energy is what's working with the crystalline grid in creating the template for the new Earth. So they're totally on our side.
That's another show.
That's another show. We've got so many shows. Then one of the next ones, by request, I created a book called A Star's Journey. It's a trilogy. They originally asked me to write visualizations for the chakras, and I ended up writing a huge tome, and I ended up channeling, and this was on another show that we talked about this. I ended up channeling 84 guides. Well, 54 of the 84 guides ended up in my spirit guides card deck.
Oh wow.
So the cards that I created for each of the guides shows them in a scene that you meet them in the book. So this deck covers different types of guides: archangels, ascended masters, goddesses, a Pleadian, the She. So it includes many different types of guides, and I included their messages that come. And this is just a few of those. This is Sanat Kumara on here. Then I have Lady Leto. And again, I did all of the artwork for these.
Oh wow, yeah.
Melchizedek.
Melchizedek, yeah.
Yeah, Melchizedek. Hilarion.
Huh.
So, what's really nice about these decks, and also because they're channeled, the channeled energy comes through the card. So the energetic connection, for instance, to Hilarion comes through this card and works with you and helps you make that connection. So what's nice about this deck is not only you become more acquainted with the different types of guides, so you know who to call on for help on specific issues, but also as you're shuffling and using this deck, if a certain card keeps coming up, then clearly that's a guide who wants to work with you or has a message for you. And that's what's really nice about this deck. I use this deck a lot when I'm starting a new project, and I'm like, all right, who's going to help me with this project? And I start pulling cards, and those are my helpers. So this deck is really great to use for that type of work. And again, it comes with a booklet of information on each of the guides, the message and meaning of the card, and lots of card spreads. So some cards.
We'll definitely have these a bigger picture and stuff like that during the premiere. So you'll definitely see these bigger on the screen and stuff like that. So That's why I got this big empty space here. Like, yeah.
All of these decks so far also are $29.95 for the book and the deck together.
Awesome.
Then, shortly after that, came the Spirits of the Crystal Kingdom card deck. What I did with this card deck is I channel the spirits of the crystals and I ask them how they heal. So it's from the crystal's point of view. So this is a really great deck if you're wanting to learn about crystals or work with crystals, how the crystals feel that they work in the world. And I also give information on how to connect with your own crystals, how to connect to the spirit of the crystal so you can get your own intimate connection.
Yeah.
And I have found from working with crystals that I have gotten so much profound information about myself.
Yeah.
It's
Wow.
really staggering. And I teach a workshop on connecting to the spirits of crystals, and even people who have never done anything like that ever before get really great connections. They get profound information. And so you can journey with crystals. You can ask them to take you on a journey, and they'll just bring what needs to come into your awareness there. And just fascinating explorations can happen by working with the energies of crystals.
Yeah. I got crystals all over this place. They're everywhere.
Yeah, they're super awesome.
Yeah.
And also what it does is it helps harmonize us with the earth.
Yeah.
And when we harmonize with the earth, we end up harmonizing with ourselves because we're made up of earth elements.
We're made of those minerals and stuff like that.
It's a really great process for that.
Yeah.
Then a big request came shortly after that to do another, speaking of earth and nature, on the Nature Kingdom. So my next card deck was Spirits of the Nature Kingdom. And this is like the thickest of my books.
Yeah, that is
This is super packed with information, and then you get to the card spreads.
Wow.
Interestingly for this one of the Pleadians that I work with, Lenos, assisted me in interviewing the nature spirits. I used the same process where I literally interviewed all of these different elementals to get information. I wanted to see what they looked like. I wanted to understand what they do. And the book goes into a lot of information on how the nature kingdom, the human kingdom, and the angelic kingdom are meant to all be working together. And each of us has a role to play, and learning what that is and then doing that really helps us understand how we all are working together to help the planet ascend and ourselves at the same time. Because that was our agreement when we were incarnated on the planet, that we would assist the planet in ascending. And so
yeah, we're a part of the planet. I think with today's technology, this era's technology and stuff, that we've been drawn away from the world of spirit, the world of earth, everything, the whole metaphysical aspect of our being. We've moved away from it because of all the technology.
Yes.
We've been on autopilot, and we've been, faced to the phone and stuff, to where we've lost contact, and now it's getting to the point where we have to unplug.
Yeah.
And this is a good way to plug into a different outlet.
Yeah. The Nature Kingdom deck is a fascinating way to dive into the elemental realms of the planet.
Yeah.
They're very magical, and basically all the elementals are energy workers.
Yeah.
So on different hierarchical levels, they have different jobs, and they like to do their job. A lot of the fairies and air elementals work with joy, like they create from that high frequency, and they utilize that energy to to even like help a flower to bloom. And
Oh, wow.
it's really fascinating to learn about what each of these different types of elementals do. And I covered the air, fire, water, earth elementals, but also the inner earth elementals, and then the new high etheric ones that are coming in with the new energies. There's new elementals
Wow.
that are coming in to deal with those new higher frequencies. So I met quite a few unusual ones that I've not known of before, and it was really fascinating to meet them. I've met a few of them when I was doing energy work in my medicine wheel garden, my energy vortex there, that I work with a lot of star beings, and I had on several occasions when I'm bringing in light energy, a lot of elementals will appear, and they'll be weaving the light energy to the planet. They'll anchor it to the planet, and I've seen them use like these green filaments coming from their hands, and they're just thrilled to be doing this, and they just work with this energy to anchor it into the planet and to bring that energy all the way in. So it's been really fascinating. A few of them I've had a gnome and some other little smaller gnome-like creatures have been working in the garden.
We may have to do that sometime. We can take a field trip for the show. The show can take a field trip out and take a look at the garden and stuff like that.
Yes.
And stuff.
Yeah.
That would be fun. What do you all think?
Yes, I had a workshop there recently where we went into the garden, and the Pleadians actually did a download on the people that were there.
Wow.
And we also connected, and the Ascended Masters also worked on people's energy. And then we went and communicated with some of the elementals that were there, and then they gave a message. Then we walked down to this big, huge oak tree I have on the property, and we talked to the dryad, or the spirit of the tree, whose name is Oliver, is what he communicated. So we get some information there. And then we went to another place on the property that has what I call the Council of Trees, and it's this circular circle of oak trees, and we saw like this waterfall of energy going down into the earth. And I realized that the trees were archiving information, and they were sending it into the earth, the crystalline grid, I think. So that was really like really fascinating that we all saw that and connected with it.
It's like an ayahuasca retreat without the ayahuasca.
Yeah, it was like, don't even need the drugs.
Right?
So, it was really fascinating, and we had so many different types of guides working with us real time, which was really great. So, that could be really fascinating. So, the Nature Kingdom card deck is super fascinating to explore. It has the most card spreads of all the decks. I have 19 card spreads with that one. And it's just really takes you into that magical realm of the elementals. And also gives you an idea of how they're working with the new energies coming in. And great deck. Super great deck. One of the next and the last, most recent one is the Sisterhood of the Rose card deck. This one came about when, about a year ago in June, a lot of light was coming in through Venus, and I was working with a Venusian that I work with there, bringing in the Venus light, which was really activating a lot of divine feminine energy on the planet. Venus Kamara and Sanat Kamara are two very high guides that have been working with this planet for eons. Sanat Kamara has been bringing the light onto this planet for centuries, and it once was an even darker planet than it is now. And he has been raising the quotient of light. He brought 144,000 volunteers from Venus to come and assist him, and so he's been working here for a long time. His twin flame Venus Kumara has been bringing divine feminine energy on the planet. She has really ramped that up recently.
Yeah.
And the reason why that energy has been coming on the planet is to bring balance with all the masculine energy, first of all, but also the qualities of divine feminine energy are the qualities we need to create the new earth with. All of those nurturing, creative, intuitive energies are what we need to create the new earth with, and we're the ones who do it. So we have to be very conscious about.
Kind of like we're like the show we did with Christopher Timms. We were talking about moving into the age of Aquarius, where the age of Pisces is this notion, this energy of which is about ready to leave. It's this destructive energy. It's this energy of ego. This energy of just it. Basically, it's like destruction. It's like the energy of war.
And also exploring religion was during the Piscean age.
Yep.
And now we're making more intimate connections in spirituality, sort of cutting out the middleman and just making that direct connection to divine energy. As well as the Aquarian age is also about brotherhood, equality, innovation. So we're moving into all of that as well. Yeah. So hence the need for the nurturing energy, the creativity, the intuitive energy of divine feminine energy. And we all have divine masculine, divine feminine within us. We just need to come back into balance and harmony. For too long, our intuition has been poo-pooed. You know, we have to rely on a world full of logic and rational thinking, and it's kind of squashed people who want to be creative and imaginative or think outside the box, or just even the nurturing capacities have been considered weaknesses, and actually they're strengths. Yeah. And without them, you cannot solve a math equation, you cannot solve a scientific problem without using creativity and imagination, and Einstein knew that.
Yeah.
So helping to nurture all of that is what the divine feminine energy is all about. So what was interesting was, so they came through and said, well, we'd like you to do our portraits. And I'm like, okay, am I like, what size? Is this supposed to be like a greeting card size or card deck size, or what are we talking about? So I started getting information on the Sisterhood of the Rose. The Sisterhood of the Rose was actually originated in Atlantis, and the original group was in Atlantis, and they were promoting, obviously, divine feminine energy. And so I asked who wanted to be in this group and who wanted to be in the card deck. So this was the group of ladies.
It was like, what, 12?
There's about 18 of them.
18.
That wanted to be involved in this. So they were very particular about how they wanted their portraits done. For instance, Athena did not want the owl on her shoulder. She wanted him somewhere in the back. And she didn't want to be carrying a sword. She wanted to be carrying a book because she's about wisdom and not warfare. That was the old classical, the old image, out with the old, in with the new.
Yeah.
And so it was very interesting to see who wanted to be involved in this. So, and of course, it's balanced with divine masculine energy, so I have a divine masculine card in there also. So this really helps you understand what the Sisterhood of the Rose is about, because they would like us to join in.
Yeah. And
they're in the process of reactivating this mission and working with divine feminine energy. So this card deck will help you do that. And also, as a bonus, I have this mini rose geometry crystal board that's also part of the deck. It's a smaller deck. There's only about 18 cards in this one, so this one's $24.95. So this is another great deck for.
And it's amazing. It's amazing how because like I said before, She does all the artwork, and it's amazing. You see how individual every one of these women are in their portraits. It's unbelievable.
Oh, thank
Wow. You're welcome. Sometimes I see faces when I go, before I'm going to bed, I'll see somebody's face when I'm falling asleep. I was like, if I only had a camera, if I could take a picture of everybody's face, every spirit's face that I see, I'd have an album right now.
Yeah, that's cool.
Then I can be passing around, and do you know this person?
Yeah.
Wow. That's really
So
cool.
those are my 6 card decks. They're all really great for the information that they bring forward, but then also to use to gain your own guidance and your own spirit guide connections, as well as building your own intuitive abilities and skills.
Yeah. Because it's after working with decks like these and this type of modality, if you're interested in it, definitely check it out. And it's like tuning the instrument.
Exactly.
A lot of people, now that's the thing is during all your expos and shows and stuff like that you do. What's your experience of people coming up for the very first time? They don't know what an oracle deck is. They've never tried one before.
Right.
And they purchase one, and then they come back later and go, wow, this has changed. I'm a different, I wouldn't say a different person, but this has actually helped.
Well, as a case example, a friend of mine who lives in central New York, who I already know works with fairies, bought my Nature Kingdom card deck, and she just recently called me up and said she was blown away at the depth and breadth of the world that opened up for her once she started using the cards. It really brings you into that realm, and she was amazed at the richness of the experience that came to her through using the cards. I encourage people at the shows to pick up the deck, shuffle it, and just even pull one card and read a message from the book on that card, and they're really like, okay, that was really accurate. And like, yeah, I know. They're very accurate. So I think I've gotten a lot of really great feedback from that, and so I'm glad that people can, and again, I use them a lot for, okay, who's going to help me with this project?
Yeah.
So they're really great for that.
And and I know people who use these every day. Who not these specific, but they'll use. Some people will use an oracle card or a pendulum or anything. It's just a form of divination.
Exactly.
You wake up in the morning, you brush your teeth. Well, after you get done brushing your teeth, pull a card.
Yeah.
It might direct you into
guide you through the day.
It helps guide you through the day.
Or focus on, or broaden your perspective. Whatever is needed.
Yeah.
So you can buy these on my website, which is elementsdesigncollection.com. And you can also buy them at the shows.
Yeah.
And if you go to my website, under news and specials, I list all my upcoming events, and so you can go and look at them and see the cards and buy them there at the shows also.
And your website is?
elementsdesigncollection.com.
And that'll also, everything will be in the description box down below. And now you'll be at the upcoming Sarasota show, which is
Spirit Fest
next
Sarasota.
This coming Wednesday.
April 2nd and 3rd, which is the weekend after this one. And it's going to be at the Sarasota Fairgrounds in the Robarts Arena. So
that's
please come.
Place. That'll be the first time I'll be there. So
yes.
If anybody's out there, come say hi to Nancy.
Yes, please do.
Take a look at her books.
And
stop by.
Many other
and there's
going to
be a
lot.
Well. Yeah, she has a lot of products. And
speaking of which,
I wanted her to show this today because we're getting a lot of interesting stuff. I'm getting feedback on this.
One of the sprays, actually, all of my energy clearing and enhancing sprays are also all channeled, similar to my card decks. The negativity purifier spray is one of the most dramatic ones as far as effects that people have felt. This one I channeled from Archangels Michael and Raphael. So this spray helps clear the lower energies in your energy field and raises your frequency. So it's also really good to use in your house because it'll clear all the old energy patterns out so that you can, recreate what you need to have in your home template. And so this one has really affected a lot of people in a positive way, and it's worked very positively for animals too, surprisingly.
Oh, wow. Yeah. Now, is this the same spray you told me about the testimonial earlier before we
yes.
went on camera? This
yes.
is the same spray?
Yeah.
Now, without giving the name, she has a testimonial of what this, I wouldn't say what it did, but what it helped.
Yeah.
If you could tell the testimonial.
Well,
story,
she sprayed it in her bedroom, and she sprayed her whole room with it, and then later that night, a pipe over the room broke. Not a droplet of water ended up in her room, but soaked the adjoining rooms. So at that point, she was totally convinced that something else was going on there. And this was very interesting. I had at one of the shows, I've had several people say this to me. They'll wander around and look at the different booths and look at the different sprays and things. And this one man came back to me and he goes, "Okay, I like your sprays the best." But he goes, "There's something different about your sprays." And I'm like, I know. I'm finding even myself that the guides that channel the spray continue to work with the spray with the people real time.
Yeah.
Because, and as a case example, the negativity purifier, okay, the other testimonial that I had is a friend decided to do a blind test in her home and wasn't going to tell her family that she was using it, and just to see what would happen. And when she noticed that her children stopped fighting with each other, her teenage son, who was kind of in the, I'm not getting along with mom stage, was holding her hand while they were shopping. She found that she was speaking differently to her children. She's like, "Why am I talking to my children like this?" It's just coming from a higher point of view. Yeah. And in general, felt that the whole household was shifted into harmony. And so she's like, "Okay, that was interesting." So that's been another testimonial. The other 3 sprays that I have are the Aquarian Light, which is a Pleadian spray that helps you connect with 5th dimensional consciousness. Then I have Divine Love Light, which helps move you into your heart and up in dimension and frequency, moves you up into your higher potential. That one I originally got from Sananda and Sanat Kumar, but recently Athena came in and said, "I'm going to overview this spray now." So now she's working through the spray with people. And she is now working with the 12th ray of unity consciousness. So being the goddess of wisdom to begin with, she's already working with raising us to higher consciousness with that spray. So I thought that was interesting.
Wow.
Then the 4th spray is the Spiritual Light spray, which I channeled from Mother Mary, and it's a very angelic spray. She's actually the twin flame of Archangel Raphael. So they both work with healing, and that particular spray helps you move into your higher potential and is very emotionally comforting. So that spray is also really great. And then I have all 4 of them in a little 1-ounce version. This is called Energy Quartet. And this has a 1 ounce. And it also comes with a booklet of meditation. So this is really great as a sample kit and as a travel kit.
The negativity purifier with smaller bottle here. The Divine Love Light 1 ounce. Spiritual Light 1 ounce. And the Aquarian Light 1 ounce.
Correct.
Wasn't one of these is what Jim bought at the up in Lakeland? He bought the 4-pack one, didn't he? Or
Yeah, it's a really great.
He walked away like, "Wow, this is a really." He's like, "I'm taking this back to Mass with me."
A lot of therapists use, especially the negativity purifier spray, to help clear their workspace after each client, because it also clears again residual energy and helps raise the frequency. So it's really great to use at work, in your car, at home. It really
Yeah.
helps.
Wow.
Especially now that we're going through so much change
Yeah.
and transition and chaos and fear and all of this. It really helps clear all of that, put you in that centered, calm place, and then moves you up. And that's
Yeah.
the best place to be to kind of deal with everything these days.
Today, and what's going around in the world right now is definitely time to look into finding ways to escape the energy, because we're all still connected to this energy that's going all around us. We choose to be part of it, or we choose to kind of, I would say, ignorant or to ignore it, but we're all receivers of this energy,
Right.
because I feel it all the time. I just get, sluggish, and I feel depressed, and it's like, where is this coming from? This is not my energy.
Right.
It's the world's energy.
Right.
We're all picking this stuff up.
Yes.
And I feel that, these products are a good way to be able to reconnect, kind of get away from it all, and help raise our vibration. Definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good tools.
Very good tools. Let's see. So Elements Design
Collection.
Definitely.
Mm-hmm.
And we'll definitely have to do some more shows, because you've got a lot more stuff down there. But
I know.
It's just a lot of information. And we'll probably take a field trip over to what type of garden is it?
It's actually, it's a 30-foot medicine wheel garden that started as an herbal garden many years ago, and then it slowly, and I started working with elementals for information on what to plant and where to plant, how to fertilize it. It was based on the Paralandra garden.
Yeah.
But then, back in 2012, a group of Pleadians came through. And so it's kind of turned into this extra-dimensional vortex garden now. So it turned from an herb garden to an energy garden.
Yeah. Wow. It's almost like a crop circle.
Yes, it's my sci-fi backyard now.
There you go. Yeah. Awesome. Is there any other specific questions that anything else that you want? If you're going to be out in Sarasota next weekend, come on out to Sarasota at the Robarts Arena.
Right.
At the Sarasota Fairgrounds. It's off of Ringling. I think it's Ringling Boulevard. You can't miss it. Just put in Sarasota Fairgrounds. You'll find it.
You can also send me an email if you have any more questions. My email's on my website.
Yeah, if you got questions on any of your books or sprays or products, the website has a bunch of information on it. I did have it up there on the monitor, but next time I got to set my computer to not time out during our show. Or I need an engineer. I don't need a cameraman anymore because it's on a tripod, but I could always use a secretary or an engineer to pick up the work and stuff like that. So, but is there anything else? That seems like yeah.
Well, I know. Okay, so
Yeah.
reviewing the card decks, I have 6 of them. The Chakra Meditation card deck,
Chakra Meditation.
Chakra
which
Meditation
is, there it
card
is.
deck here.
So that was the first one.
This is the book for that. Then I have the Pleadian
Then the
Healing
Pleadian.
Symbols card deck.
Yeah.
Then I have
Then you had
the
this one.
Spirit Guides
Spirit Guide.
card deck. Number 3. Number 4.
Spirits of the Nature
I
Kingdom.
have Spirits of the Nature Kingdom card deck. Number 5.
Last
is-
but not least.
and I have one more. Well, let
Oh,
me get
yeah.
the book for you. Then I have the Spirits of the Crystal Kingdom.
Yeah.
The
Spirits
Crystal
of the
Kingdom
Crystal
card deck.
Kingdom.
And then the last one
that
is the Sisterhood of the Rose card deck. So I have 6 different decks so far.
So far. However, this is not all of them. There's more. But yeah. Awesome.
So these are great decks. You can get in touch with your chakras, crystals, Pleiadians, nature spirits,
Tell you what, if I had more,
all kinds of spirit guides.
If I had more time, you know, if I didn't have my regular job and doing this show, I would own every single one of these and be working with them like every day. Definitely. Wow, that is cool. Yeah. So thank you for joining us. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you,
Nancy. It's a pleasure. And we'll have more shows. We'll touch base on some more of her products. Go check her website out at www.elementsdesigncollection.com. Don't worry about it. All the information you can find on the Conscious Radio Network website, which you can now. Just go to our resource page on the channel and the website. Yeah, go to the video, because from the last time you were in the studio.
right.
She's on her resource page. Click, takes you to her website. If you can't find it, let me know. But anyway, don't forget to subscribe to Conscious Radio Network YouTube channel. And for those who are going to be out in Sarasota, looking forward to seeing you. Stay tuned again. We do plan on, we do have another show coming up on Wednesday, the premiere for Keith Kong. Other than that, Nancy, it's been a pleasure.
Yep,
Thank you
been great.
very much. And until next time, thank you for watching
See you
Conscious
then.
Radio Network.
Bye.